Let's get our car review going here for this segment.
Who's
Mr. Mars had a chance to drive the GMC Canyon.
Yes, sir. It's the 2024 Canyon four-wheel drive AT4X Crew Cab, if you can put all that together.
Wow, you can.
And this is a midsize pickup offering. It's been out from GMC for quite some time, and like a lot of the vehicles in that category, it's gotten a little bit bigger. Comes in 4 trim levels: Elevation, the AT4, the Denali, and the AT4X. We had the AT4X four-wheel drive Crew Cab. Now, this is a very off-road centric type of vehicle. It comes lifted. It's got the big tires, big wheels. It's got all that good stuff on it. So
looks good.
Seats 5 people. It looks really good. There's a few things about it. This one we had the AEV package. Now, that's a deal they cooked up with American Expedition Vehicles. It's an aftermarket company. So some of the things that we have on this truck are from them, but you can get it through the dealer when you go buy your truck. Like, I'm going to get to that in a moment.
God.
LED lighting up front. You're going to have the fog lights, the daytime running lights, tail lights, all that stuff. It has the AEV fender flares on it, so that you got, again, that off-road deal. And then you've got a rear bumper that comes from AEV as part of the package. Skid plates up front for the front suspension, transfer case, fuel tank, the rear diff. All of them have skid plates. Got rock rails on the side of it that look very similar to running boards, but they're not. They're tilted up, and they're to protect the bottom of the vehicle. So you got to kind of step up and step over them.
Yeah.
Now, we also had the multi-stow tailgate, which is a storage unit on the tailgate that's really cool, and it's another one of those things you go, duh, why didn't somebody come up with this before? Now, the one thing it does have, and when we get to it, Jeff, and we'll get you to stop it whenever we get to it. It rolls on some 19-inch beadlock-capable wheels, and it's got the 35-inch tires. That right there, hold that right there. Now, this has an option of having a full-size spare mounted in the bed. Now, that's a really cool idea. You can't fit it underneath because it's too big, but they've got it mounted to the back of the cab flush. Now, that, if you look at it through your rearview mirror, that takes up half your rear view.
Yeah, it's behind the driver's side.
That's right. And then you got this big, enormous headrest on the other side, so that basically your rear view is blocked. And I do not understand why they don't have the rear view camera in the mirror. In the mirror, just like the Chevrolet GM product I'm driving right now.
Yeah, Don's electric one.
I mean, because it's you have to, if you're looking behind you, you got to kind of work your way around to look in between the headrest and that deal. And it.
Oh, stop complaining.
It ruins a perfectly good truck. Anyway, I wanted to point that out. Engineers, you need to do something about that. Moving on into the interior, we has the leather seating. The front and rear seats are heated and ventilated. The now standard for this year is an 11.3-inch touchscreen. That's where you're going to find your infotainment system and your convenience controls, your Apple CarPlay, Android, and Google. Get Google TV on this thing.
We're watching 11-inch stuff there.
It's okay.
11-inch digital instrument cluster on it, and it's very easy, and it's really easy to configure for the driver. Had the Premier Bose audio system, so it sounded really, really good on the inside of it. Now, up under the hood, all of the Canyons this year have the 2.7-liter Turbo Max engine in it. 310 horsepower, 430 pound-feet of torque, backed by an 8-speed automatic. Now, this vehicle is capable of towing 7,700 pounds when properly equipped, haul 1,640, which this is a pretty good-sized load that you're going to put on a mid-sized truck. Now, the EPA says you should be able to get 16 miles in the city, 16 on the highway, and combined 16. I got 15.2 miles out of the 412 miles I drove this vehicle. This vehicle's kind of heavy. It weighs in at 6,100 pounds for a mid-sized pickup.
This pickup truck is the same size as the old half-ton pickup truck.
It's within inches, absolutely. It's almost as big as that Ram truck that sits beside it in my driveway. So, again, now as far as you get out on the highway and you get to driving it, obviously it's geared towards the off-road with the suspension, the components that go into that, the body lift kit in it. In fact, ours has the AEV, has actually got an extra inch on the lift on it. So it's a very firm ride, but it's not harsh. It's surprisingly, and I think that's because of the tires and the sidewall flexibility in it that kind of lightens up on that. And again, as I said, it does set up high. You got to step over the rock rails, and if you try and use them, you got to be careful and make sure it's not wet because you will slide off of it. Now, the base model price for a Canyon is $37,595. The base model for this particular trim, the AT4X, is $54,300. We had a couple of options.
Yeah. Wow.
So the MSRP as tested is $67,990 for a midsize truck.
From what to what? Base price?
$37,595 for a base Canyon.
And this is 67.
Yeah.
$30,000 more.
Wow.
Now, if you're looking for something to compare it to in the midsize,
I'm not good at math, but
your
that's a lot.
Ford Ranger for $32,720, the Toyota Tacoma at $31,500, or even the Gladiator, which starts at $37,895. It's the high one on it. But other than a few little things, this was a pretty neat. I had one guy stop me at a red light. What do you think? And I said, if you want to go off-roading from the factory, get it.
Yep, open up that wallet. It's all yours.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, today's Emerald.